Hi, this is Sonia from Beta Healthcare. This is the second video of a series about working in collaborative mode. Today, I would like to take you through the different steps of a workflow that involves two authors, which will be my colleagues Balazs and Brandon, working collaboratively on a reference set, and one reviewer, which will be Orshi. I will be acting as the project manager, and right now we are logged in my account, which you can see down here. And let's just close this one. And I will create a new task, which is this button up here. In the task wizard, we can see something called repository. This is the task management system. This is where your tasks are stored and where the workflow is handled. The task management system allows to share tasks with your team members and move a task between users. It also sends email notifications to other users, for example, when the task status is changed or if someone makes a comment on a task. And I'm already connected to Bugzilla, but if you're not, you can do this up here by going to File, Preferences, and since I'm already connecting, it's just validating my credentials. Then you go to SnowOwl, Bugzilla repository, and this is where you would enter your URL. So if you use a different task management system, for example Jira, it would appear here as well, and then you would just click OK, and when you bring up the wizard, your task management system should show up here in this line. Then we need to select an artifact type. You might recall this from the previous video. Depending on what kind of authoring you're doing, you would select a different artifact type here, but we will do again reference set authoring and enter a task title. So today we would like to create a diclofenac reference set. And in the task summary, I can specify the task a bit more. Create diclofenac reference set with products and clinical findings. And go to the next page. And since we're creating a new reference set, we need to enter a name for the reference set. Let's call it diclofenac products and findings, and it will be a simple type reference set with SNOMED CT concepts. Go to the next page. Here we need to specify who is involved in the task, and dependent on the number of team members, we have different scenarios. In the previous video, I showed a single author, single reviewer scenario. We just had to enter two usernames here. Today, I want to go through a scenario with two authors. There are two possibilities. What we're going to do today is dual collaborative authoring. This means that two authors are working together on the same reference set. They can see each other's work, and whenever one of them makes a modification and saves this change, the other author can see the changes in the editor as well. In the next video, we will do dual blind or dual independent authoring, which means that we also have two authors and one reviewers, but the authors are working independently and they are not able to see each other's work. Okay, let's take this one. Now I need to enter the usernames, and I bring up control space for the list of my team members. Let's start with Balazs, and then Brandon will be the second author, and Orshi is going to be the reviewer. And now I submit the task to the task management system, and my work as a project manager is done. When I submit a task, the other users that are assigned to the task get an email notification, and it also shows up in their task list up here. So for example, if we're going to Balazs and refreshing his view, we should be able to see the new task, which is here. Let's open it. You can see the green dots here, which indicate who is currently assigned to a task. And since it's both authors have a green dot here. So once Balazs wants to start working on the task, he needs to click on this button to activate the task. And this means he's not working on main anymore, he's working on a separate branch. And we can see this down here because it says create diclofenac reference set. So the name of the task is always used as the branch name. And this means the changes that he's making are only visible to him and to his team members that are assigned to the task, to the same task, but not to other team members that are working on other tasks. So it's kind of like a protected area that he's working on. And the reference set is just created on this branch. He can open the reference set just by clicking list link here. So this is the reference set and it's empty. We can add some members. So Balazs is going to add diclofenac products. Let's do a search for diclofenac and then add the members to the reference set and save this work. So Balazs and Brandon are working collaboratively on this reference set, and since Balazs made some changes and saved them, Brandon, let's go to his account, can also see, if he's on this branch, what Balazs has been doing. Right now, Brandon is still on main, and let's just refresh his view and open the task. And once we're activating the task, we will be moving to the branch. You can see this down here. So now Brandon is also on the same branch as Balazs, and he can open the reference set, and we see the 38 members that were already added by Balazs. So Brandon is going to look for clinical findings with diclofenac. Run an advanced search, which we have here. Now I will just add all the results to the reference set, and now we have 49 members. And once he saves his changes, Balazs can also see what Brandon was doing. So if we go back to Balazs, and there's a message that something changed. And now we can see all the members that were added by Brandon. So this is the flat list that displays all of the members, or we can also see them as a hierarchy. Okay, so once both authors have completed their work, they want to hand it over to to the reviewer. And to do this, just like in the previous workflow that I showed, we need to change the task status from assigned to fixed. And since they're both working on the same task, it's enough if one of them changes it to fixed. If they're working in a small team in the same room, you would probably just go over to your team member and agree that the task status should be changed. If you're working remotely, you can communicate, for example, by using the comments. So Balazs could write something like finished working on reference set. Please change task status. And save this comment here. And then So this is Balazs, and now we're going back to Brandon's account. Now Brandon can see the comment. He would also get an email notification that someone commented on this issue, and he can see, aha, Balazs is done with the work, and he wants me to change the status change once I'm done. And let's do this. Now he changes the status and saves the status change, and now the task is assigned to the reviewer, to or she. And the work of the authors is finished. So let's go to Orshi's account. We're here at Orshi's now, and bring up the task. Here it is. And now it's pretty much the same workflow as in the previous video. To review it, she has to activate the task. She can open the reference set here and look at it this way, or she can go to the task editor and just go to the review tab. Let me maximize it, and here are the different reference set members that were added. She cannot see which ones were added by Balazs and which ones were by Brandon. This is only the case if you do independent authoring. And with these buttons, she can either accept them all or deny all of them, and you can make manual changes. So if you just want to deny a few, you can also do them. And once you promote them, only the ones that were accepted are promoted to main, but let's accept all of them. If she was unhappy with the work, she could change the status to reopen and maybe make some comments here in the section about different members and hand the task back to the authors. But let's assume that she's happy with the work and she's finished reviewing. Then she would save the review. And once this is done, it's possible to change the status to verified. Save the status change again. And now this button has been enabled, and this is the promote button. And if she clicks this, we will move. We're right now still here on the branch. We will move to main. There's also a notification here about it. So now the reference set will be visible to everyone. And now there's no task activated, and the reference set is on main, and we can just, here it is, open it, and we see it's the 49 members. Okay, so much about dual collaborative authoring on a reference set, and in the next video we will go through a similar scenario just with two authors working independently. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye bye.